Good evening, everybody. All right. I think we've got one seat left for the training, and you can see how comfortable those seats are and how intent people are. This is a spot that if you're having problems with, you might as well address some of the questions today. If you're having problems trying to figure out how to take what you can analyze with candlesticks, this is the place to kind of really refine it to where you understand when to be getting your emotions out of the way. So anyways, for those of you that really are serious about improving your investing techniques or your investing results, this is kind of the ultimate as far as putting everything together on a high trade probability basis. Okay, so with that, this is what was telling us that there was going to be a reversal. Notice what we had over here. Not quite a Morningstar signal. Didn't quite close halfway up this candle. But Friday this past week, after a big inverted hammer bullish confirmation, and that bullish confirmation was seen immediate after the inverted hammer, and they opened up positive and started trading positive. Just remember, the inverted hammer, if it's trading positive at the next day, this has got probably the highest probabilities of seeing a reversal occur on a positive open after an inverted hammer, especially if you're down here in the oversold area. Good evening, Vladimir. Vladimir, we've got one seat left at the lake. You might as well come and join us again. And the next thing today, when the pre-market futures were trading or showing that we were going to have a positive open, that was a good indication you could start buying immediately, that you were confirming this signal. And now, again, this is where the convergence analysis comes into place. Stochastics down near the oversold area. Inverted hammer. Morningstar signal. The third day closes above the T-line. It bounced off this lower channel right here. So you had all these indications that on positive trading today that there had been a reversal. And where was our next target? The 50-day moving average. Did we anticipate that it was going to get there today? Definitely not, but that was the target. So again, this is just analysis that we can look at and see what the probabilities are. Okay, Vladimir. All right, we'll save you a spot next year. So, anyways, this is kind of the ultimate, or this is what you're kind of looking for when you're analyzing candlesticks, is what are the patterns and the signals telling you, and where are they occurring? And when you can start adding all that up, that makes it a lot more, puts you in a lot more situations where the probabilities will be in your favor. Here's the S&P 500, but here's the compelling one right now. Again, when you have the reversals in the S&P and the Dow, and you had kind of that flutter kicker reversal in the NASDAQ, when all three indexes are trading positive, that means everybody across the board is buying. And that's the reversal. Where are we heading to now? Well, here's the middle of our trend channel. I wouldn't be surprised if the strength of this signal takes us all the way back up to the top of that trend channel, which means over the next few days we should have some definite positive results in the market. All right, let's see what else we got out there. The dollar index, not anything compelling, but notice what this is kind of the observe the obvious. We had the big cradle Morningstar signal down here, had kind of the T-line crunch pushing us up through the 50-day moving average, and then look where it moved back to. Right smack dab to the 50, especially today, right back to the moving averages, 50-day moving average, and coming back up again. So that means that little J-hook pattern is still in progress. Which also means that the euro, notice where it failed right at the 50-day moving average. Then what, oh, hold on, we got a darn cat here that is trying to get all the attention. Notice where it failed today. There's your blue ice failure setup. So I would suspect that your next target would be testing this low right here. So good probability to be short the euro at this point. Okay, hold on. Kitty, you have to go. Okay. All right, so some of the other things, we went, hold on. We've got a cat here that is just obnoxious. You're in the way. Okay, you got to go down. And then stay down. Kitty, hold on. We're having a problem. The fact that the euro's in the oversold, we notice it came up a little bit out of the oversold area. Still not quite in the oversold area. We're still in a downtrend. So, yes, remember the stochastics are just telling you where you are in the trend, and you're not quite down here in the oversold area like over here. That means we're still got price more downside. Let's see, we did short coffee today. I'm sorry, we went long coffee today. Hold on, I'm sorry that we're delayed here. This cat, when the cat's mom goes away, I all of a sudden become Kitty. No, Kitty. Oh, man. Down. So if you look at the coffee chart, feed, son of a gun, Kitty, stay down. There you go. This is unbelievable. Okay, Kitty, this is getting old. As we can see, we had the buy signals here, and where can we see the obvious top of the trend channel? For our next target, I'm sorry, this cat is just bothersome. What is wrong with you? Okay, now stay down, please. Obviously coming back up here to the 50-day moving average. Catching. Son of a gun. Kitty, no. I was short hogs for a little bit today. Well, I was short hogs going into the day. I showed this earlier. Let's make this bigger. All right, you could see that it was rolling over. And then early in the day, they just slammed it. And what were we expecting if they opened lower today or started trading lower? About the same magnitude move as that day, or of Thursday. So when it got down here, I mean, it slammed real quick right on the open. So if I was watching the 10-minute chart, the 10-minute chart gave me this. Had some big profits down here, and then it started coming back up. So was it just a bounce, and they're still taking it down? Well, this is where I flipped to the 5-minute chart, and the 5-minute chart told me, all right, if they're still taking it up, where are they taking it up to? At least up to the T line. So it covered the short position here with some good profits, but then it really never backed off after that. So had cash sitting with good profits right in the first 10 minutes of the day. So then you start looking to see whether that is a good place to get back in or whether there's other charts out there that look better. In this case, look what type of pattern is forming in live cattle. There's our big dumpling top. So it was selling off today, and so shorted this one. Let's see. Let's go to the 10-minute chart. By the time I started looking again, it was starting to trade back down here, so we shorted, and then really don't have a major move since then. However, notice what it didn't do by the end of the day. It didn't change the daily chart. It was telling us we're still selling off coming out of this big dumpling top. So this remains where we stay short with the anticipation that if they start breaking this down, like the opposite of a fry pan bottom, they could really slam this down here for a while. Vladimir, yes. I will trade the crude oil. But right now, crude oil is still in this little range. So there's kind of your dumpling top breakdown. But for the last few days, it's been moving sideways. So if I'm going to trade something, I want to see which way the trend is actually moving. Now, I would suspect that if they break this level right here, that they're taking it down on wave 3 down into this area. So I won't trade this. Plus, if you can look at the intraday charts, this was the intraday charts today, it really didn't have any great movement to it until the end of the day. So I would still keep an eye on this one. I guess it's trading down 50 cents after hours. Let's make this big enough where we can see it. So this looks like after hours it's still trading down. Yes, that'd be something that I would go after. Natural gas, not so much. Whoops. Natural gas, as you can see, is not going anywhere. Now, on a very short-term basis, you could be going long, but there's really no trend to it. So the more there's a lack of trend, the higher the opportunity you get whipsaws during the day. Let's see what else we got. The 10-year notes. Still selling off, not anything major, which means the interest rates aren't moving around all that much. Gold. That's not the right one. Q. ECAQ5. Gold, you can see, is still just drifting. and it failed at the 200, it failed at the 50, and we're still trading below the T line, so I wouldn't be long gold. I'd be short gold at this time. And silver, humbug. Why am I getting these wrong? F.SI. Silver, still drifting. Can't get back up above the T-line. Had the little bounce, but this you would consider a bounce versus a reversal, because what type of signal did we have here? No signal. So it just tells me that it's probably they're bouncing back up to the T-line. I'd still look to be short silver. Soybeans, now that's a nice chart. I mean, that's your obvious. So that's your there's your J-hook pattern. There's your fry pan bottom. And where did they come back to? Right smack dab to the 200-day moving average, doing a Morningstar type signal, left-right combo. That pretty much tells me you could be buying this one. You just see if it breaks out through this level. If so, now you've got something that's probably going to take you up into this area. Now so when I can see it could go into that area, I just start going back and saying, all right, what's up in here that would tell me that if this is wave 1, wave 3 should be up here? Well, the recent high over here. So at least that tells me a breakout. That's where my potential target is. Not that it's a potential target in the sense that that's what we're aiming for. That's what the probabilities say, that if this is wave 1 and wave 3 is right here, and then we can go back here and find out there was a peak up at that area. That just kind of gives you a logical spot to start targeting for. Oh, let me see. Gold, silver. Oops. Wheat looks like it's setting up also for that J-hook pattern, and corn. Corn, I'm surprised, is trading up this much. That's a good, strong, bullish move on corn ever since it broke out through here. Because I would have thought with the rain that we've had this year that the crops would have some good bumper crops this year. Oh, the Japanese yen. Let me see if I can do this. I don't trade the... Again, right now on a short-term basis, I would be short, but you can see what the kind of the range has been. It's probably heading back down to the bottom here, so I'd be short the yen. Oh, is there a lot of flooding? Well, usually you're more concerned about the Midwest, which has millions. All right, so let's take a look at a few of the stocks that are still doing well that we've been following. SRNE, still in a nice steady uptrend. And so once you start seeing they can close it below the T9 and take it back up, that's where you might now give it one more day when they close below the T-line to see if the uptrend is still in progress. So SRNE would still want to stay in it. We recommended RMTI today because of the J-hook pattern. Again, there's your classic, kind of a fry pan bottom, scoop type pattern, slingshot effect, J-hook pattern. So again, this is where knowing what the patterns are telling us gives us that extra probability of being in the right place at the right time. Bought some more calls on ZSPH. Well, well, well. We'll have to come back to that. Netflix, there's that slow curve. So again, for option traders, this is the type of things that you look for, is that slow curve with the potential it breaks out to the upside. And when it broke out, where do we think it could move to? We can see the trend channel. So target is somewhere right up in here. DYAX, another one that had a slow curve type pattern breaking out today. So we can see what's happening here is basing, and now it's breaking out through the base, heading higher. And hold on, let me. We added to PRTA also in some option trades, because there's that classic right-hand bottom J-hook pattern. And notice what started that pattern. It's kind of a double kicker signal, flutter kicker signal. Gapped up above, let me make this bigger. Remember, anytime we see a trend moving in this direction, the next day they gap it up at or above the previous day's open. Take a look very diligently or with a lot more scrutiny, because if you're in a downtrend, they shouldn't be gapping it up and going the opposite direction. Oh, Netflix splits tomorrow, 7 to 1. All right, thank you. I knew it was coming. I just forgot when. So that was PRTA, and that trend kicker signal we saw that in Amazon, or the flutter kicker signal, I'm sorry. Notice it was heading in this direction, right to the 50. The next day they gapped it up above the previous day's open. And what's our simple rule of a doji? They're going to move it in the direction how they open it. Opened it positive. So if you took out this little doji, you'd basically have a kicker signal, which is your strongest reversal signal. And then they gap it up today through this whole area, the whole resistance area, telling you that things are going to go higher. Oh, is Kroger just splitting 2 for 1? Oh. Apparently they did it already. How does that work? They don't have the charts updated on Kroger. Apparently the PCB group took profits on their trade on Kroger. I forget, didn't they get in around $1.80? They just sold out today at $4.20. So that was a good trade. And CHRS was one that we've been in because of the steady eddy. Now it's starting to move exuberantly. So this is where you start looking to take profits. Today, after it opened and traded higher, we set our stops at the open, because if it came back down through there, especially when it started to move away from the T-line, that told us that this exuberance had set in. That's when the profit taking is going to set in. Netflix, have no idea. That's not necessarily a truism. Remember, you have 7 times the amount of stock that's out there, and you might have people saying, all right, well, I'm going to sell part of my position. So you just have to wait to see what the charts tell you they do after the split on Netflix. Let's see. We did Amazon. PGNX. We've been staying in this one. There's that slow curve. I'd still be watching this one for a nice breakout to the upside. Apple is trading positive. You can be buying. You just have to be aware of this resistance level up here at the 50, which is also this downtrending channel. So if you're buying, just be a lot more conscious of what it does once it gets here. And eBay. The reason that I've been following the biggies is that there's a lot of people like to trade the big stocks, the Googles, the Apples, Netflix. So I'm going to be doing a video specifically for the swing trader and the option trader on how to trade the big ones with a little bit more insights into how those patterns work. But as we can see on eBay, we're right back up here at the breakout level on kind of a double flutter kicker also. And there's a few more that we're following. AMED. I'd be ready to buy this one. If you don't already own it, be ready to buy it if it breaks out through this level. It tells you that the J-hook pattern is in progress. SPWH, also a good looking chart. You just stay long on this one. And any backed off a little bit today, but didn't change the trajectory. What's happening here? I don't know what's happening there. And we shorted AEM because it was, notice where it failed, right here at the the 200. So essentially you've got a bearish J-hook pattern in progress. You can still short this one on a lower open tomorrow. That essentially tells me we'll be in a bearish doji sandwich, which would tell us that this bearish J-hook pattern could take us all the way down into this area. Okay, so the reason that we want to learn the patterns is things like this one, ANAC. Notice what it did today. Came out of this slow curve. And these are the type I look for. I miss this one. This would be one where whether you're buying the stock or the options, you could be buying it at the close on that day. Because what's it basically telling you? That if they open up positive, they're breaking out. And usually these breakouts after a slow curve are usually substantial. If it opens lower, back below the T-line, you close out the position. But for every time you see this type of pattern setup where you have a slow curve, you're probably going to have such huge moves that the less numerous failures aren't going to be that big as far as losses compared to the gains on the big ones that do move. So that's ANAC, and so finding that type of pattern setup, like we see in AJRD, there's that slow curve again. Positive open, kind of doji sandwich, breakout. You usually get some very substantial moves. All right, let's take a look at a few more that are Hive. Hive is kind of a type that you want to observe the obvious. The obvious is it bounced up off the 50. Stayed above the T-line all the way up until we saw their shooting star, left-right combo, profit taking. And where did it move to? Right smack dab to the 50-day moving average. And what did we start seeing? A bullish left-right combo, bullish confirmation. You definitely want to be buying this one. Because if this is wave one, which is approximately $4, that means you should take this up into about the 1150 area. Oh, ANAC. The only reason you would be buying it is based on that you'd expect a 45-degree off of here. So you still can be buying it. Just you have to have a different set of stop losses. I wouldn't want to see it close halfway down that candle. VLTC, another big move. Now, it had a big move up here and failed. So now we see whether this next big move with stochastics in the oversold area continues positive. And the reason we want to watch this one is it right now is trading at the 658 level. Apparently it was up a good 40% today. But if it gets moving, there's still a gap right here. It could come back up and fill. So even if it moved from here to here, you've got about 120% move. So this is why you want to take a look at your patterns and which ones have the biggest potentials. That's why you want to analyze what your targets should be on some of these. An IMGN. You can see how they had kind of this double bottom sideways move, broke out. When it broke out before, it was a big substantial move. I'd look for a 45 degree to come off of this one. And I'm kicking myself because this one was on my list to recommend last night also. ABEO. It was a little scoop type pattern, closed above the T-line, broke this downtrending channel, had a big move today. So these are the type of things that you really want to have your eyes accustomed to recognizing, is when has there been a little pattern reversal and what is your potential for the upside. Even this one being bought, your first target obviously is the 50-day moving average, but if it breaks through there, you're probably going to come back up into the congestion area. It would be about a 50 to 60% move to the upside. We looked at ATRA the other day because it was coming out of a little Morningstar type scoop pattern. Slingshot effect to the upside. You want to stay long on this one. Again, the reason that we want to recognize the patterns is because, number one, they put you in situations where the probabilities of being in a profitable trade is going to be much greater. And number two, the percent move of that move is going to be much greater because we know what should happen after these moves. They're usually got good power to them or slingshot effects to them. RGLS. Oh, there's also, notice what type of pattern or signal we're getting. There's that little flutter kicker signal. Again, the same type of thing that we saw in Amazon the other day, that little flutter kicker signal telling us there was going to be more upside. ANEP now. ANEP also a nice flutter kicker, J-hook pattern. Probably has this type of move. So as you're going through your charts and you're finding the ones that look real good and you're starting to see that a big percentage of them are the biotechs or the pharmaceuticals, you can pretty much assume that they're buying those across the board. So it's a good sector to be in. On ZSPH, I can't remember. I don't remember which ones I bought. I think I bought the August 65s. And IG. And there's that slow curve. Where's your next potential target? Fill in this gap, number one, which means probably they're heading for the 200-day moving average. NewLink. There's that slow curve, and where did this occur? You can see there was a downtrending resistance level. You saw they did kind of the bobble, came up, hit the 50, pulled back, but didn't move, in this case, too far away from the T-line. Now the bullish harami and the breakout tells you you're probably now in probably the next wave. And the fact that you broke out through this downtrending channel in the 50 tells you there's a new dynamic. So a lot of people say, well, should we be buying this after it's moved that much? The answer is yes, because we know it's got at least this potential move, which means they're probably coming back up here to test the highs. So that's still a good 15% away. Oh, who wrote that? Terrible handwriting. There's that slow curve, again on array. And how did they get this one started? With a gap up today. That tells me they're at least coming up here which means they're probably coming at least up here to fill the gap. So you've got a good percentage move on that one. And MXL, there's a bullish Hiromi gap up. Got wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 starting with a gap up. So if this was a 5-point move, look for the prices to go up into the $17 range. Oh, that poor cat is lonely. She's now got her nose right up next to the screen watching the home run derby going on. Oh, why isn't this working? Well, CZR, another slow curve. Where's our potential target? Right up here at the 50, which is corresponding with this downtrending channel. So at least we can see where our targets are and whether we can calculate from here to here whether that's worthwhile. And if it's a good 15%, at least my criteria is I want to be in something that has at least a 10% upside potential. So at least we know where our target is. We know there's still juice left in the stochastics to take us up at least to that level. Oh, darn cat. So, all right, that's about all I got for tonight. The important thing is kitty, that we're seeing that downtrend now changing back to an uptrend, and we can pick out where our potential targets are, at least testing this level, so we know there may be at least one more day to the upside. I wouldn't be surprised if they take it up, fail, and do kind of a doji day, and then we'll have to see the next couple of days whether they can hold the 50-day moving average. All right, so with that, is there any general questions on candlesticks? Hold on, BP, the individuals. Is it wise to go into cattle trade that is so far away from the T-line? Wouldn't it be better to wait for a pullback to get in? No, you got to remember the T-line is still just your trend indicator. This cat is just driving me to drink. She hasn't paid attention to me all day long until I get here at the computer and want to get some work done. But what's our other pattern that we're recognizing is happening here? We've got this dumpling top. And where's our stochastics? Our stochastics are still heading down. So, and where do most people start selling? They start selling hard when you're getting closer to the oversold condition. So the T-line is not a primary factor here. Yes, if it came way down tomorrow, I would be looking on my 10-minute chart to see if they're going to start popping it back up. But as far as holding it for a few days, I'll probably still trade this to the downside until we see a definite reversal. So don't let the T-line affect you when you're still working with a pattern like the dumpling top or a fry pan bottom breakout, because usually on a fry pan bottom breakout you're going to have 2, 3, 4 days where the prices move so strong the T-line hasn't been able to catch up yet. But you don't want to be out of it until you see the result. Oh, cat, you're driving me to drink. Until you see what the result of that breakout of that pattern is doing. Right now, you have to analyze what was by sound. I dropped the headset. That bothered me. But what's the signal telling you right now? Flutter kicker. That's right. The signal right now is telling us we've got a flutter kicker. And what do we know about the flutter kicker? It's usually a strong signal. Now, will there be some backing and filling? Possibly. But this pattern right here, this signal tells us we've probably got enough upside to at least test this level and maybe go higher. So don't get too caught up on the T-line, because the T-line, if this is a flutter kicker and it bobbles here for a couple of days or slightly moves up, T-line is going to come right up to it. Let's see. Did I skip some? The triple top, yes, but that's, again, that's where you look for prospective resistance. But again, the major advantage we have with candlestick signals is we can see how they're getting there and then what they do once they get there. So if this moved up a couple of days and then did a shooting star at that level, I'd be ready to take profits or ready for a reversal if it opened lower. If it moved up and then we do a big candle through this level, that gives us a whole different story. So the candles, the nature of the candle formation is going to tell us what they do at support and resistance levels. But if that 111, that's what you have to see. Maybe this is the time that they decided, yeah, it doesn't fail there every time. That's why it's a resistance level. We just have to see what happens at that resistance level. Okay, with that, Jim, let's go ahead and do the double line. And then in 2.8 seconds, do the other double line. You can see we've got quite a few people. Now, remember, if the Greek drama comes back again, remember, that's the excuse for what the market is doing. That doesn't necessarily mean the market is... the markets have been having a hard time for months. Right now, the current situation is the Greek situation. If the market headed up and started rolling over one more time, it might be a whole different reason. Something else is going on. Or then you have to ask yourself, if the market or the Greek situation is still going on and they go through the resistance level, does that really, what's that tell you is happening? That tells you there's something else out there that's more intriguing than just what's going on in the Greek economy, which is the same equivalent of Rhode Island's economy. Okay, let's see what we got here. CMG, that did get up through the 200. With a strong move off your kicker trend or trend kicker, wanted to see what it's going to do here. So there's still a gap to fill up here. So once it gets up to that level, I'd start watching to see what type of signals you get. Glob, that's a nice J-hook pattern in progress. Notice how they started gapping it up, and then they had a positive open and gapped it through the resistance level. You stay long on this one. And HQY, another J-hook pattern. That's a nice looking chart. Did we ever get highs up? Same type of chart, J-hook pattern. BTU, nothing here yet. Yeah, just nothing there. You don't want to buy this until you see a close above the T-line. AEO, that's a nice little cup and handle. Notice where the handle took you out into new territory. I would just suspect more upside. Home Depot had a big gap up today, breaking this downtrending channel. Not a very exciting stock, but at least right now, if you like it, you stay long on this one, using the T-line as your stop. Disney, another one where you just stay long. So you see a sell signal. And UYG, when the financials are strong, that means the whole market's strong. And as you can see, this trend or this chart almost looks like the Dow, where it's now getting right back up into the, or the NASDAQ getting right back up into the trading range. Quasar, you can start buying this one, but you can see you're kind of in a trend channel, so if you're buying it, you just want to be very conscious of what happens once it gets up into this level. HAWK, nice J-hook pattern. You stay long on this one. FIT. Well, what's going on here tonight? For some reason, FIT's not coming up. It's just the chart system doing something. OPK, another one where you can stay long as it stays above the T-line. But you want to stay above the T-line, otherwise you're starting to see a little fizzle. It needs to really break out above the recent highs here pretty quick. Hershey, not a very exciting stock to trade, but right now it's doing the doji right smack dab on the 50-day moving average. So what's that tell us? And it's going to move in the direction how they open it after a doji. If they open it lower, you're in the bobble. It's failed this level. If it opens positive, it tells you they've broken out. Now you've got a wee little gap up here, which is getting you close enough to the 200 that the next target would be the 200. Kroger backed off. Oops, I can't tell. They don't have, oops, I guess they're a little bit more updated than they were just a few minutes ago. They must be updating these charts right now. But Kroger, if you like it, you can stay long on it. What did I just do? VRX. This one, doji sandwich potential breakout. You stay long on this one. If it opens lower, now you have to worry about whether you're still in this downtrending channel. Facebook. Nice J-hook pattern. There's your kind of your kicker signal, breakout into new high territory. AVGO short. Yeah, if you're long, it needed to open higher and trade higher to tell you that the bullish Harami was confirming. As you can see, it opened higher, but immediately started trading off and back below the T-line. If I was short, I'd stay short. I just wouldn't want to see it close above the T-line. Let's try FIT again. There we go. All you can do here is stay long. You see a sell signal and a close below the T-line. CBOE, big reversal, but it hit the, this would be a case where if I saw that hanging man up there at the top, and it opened positive, I'd at least have my stop at where it opened, or definitely have a stop at the low of yesterday, Friday. Because if it came down through there, where do you think they were taking it to? They were taking it back to the T-line. Now, if you're long and you didn't get out of it, it has to open positive and trade positive to stay in it. If it opens lower, yeah, then you can be shorting it. ALXN, nice J-hook. Stay long on this one. If I own this one, I'd have my stop at today's open. Shouldn't come back through there. Kohl's. Short? Nah. There's not enough. All you're right now is in a sideways. I wouldn't be long or short this one. Yum. Yum. Strong move. Now you've got the doji. If they open up positive, and break through this level, you know you're in wave 3. CMC. CMC, you can be buying this one, just not a very good chart because you're still in the sideways mode. Yeah, it's just not a great chart. I'd be trading something else. What was that? CMC. We did Tazar, AWH. Nothing exciting here other than as long as it stays above the T line, you can stay long. You did have a bearish engulfing right where you started seeing some sell signals. If it opened lower tomorrow, I'd probably close it out because at best it's going to be in a very, very slow uptrend. That'd be at best. CVC, cable, broke out nicely the other day out of this fry pan bottom. You just stay long as it, more than likely it's going to be on a 45 degree from here. And Halo, another one where you just stay long as long as it stays above the T line. Notice our little morning star signal brought you back up above the T line. ACAD. Nothing fantastic here other than you're in this upward trend channel. You're at the top of the trend channel. I'd want to see it break through. If it waffles in here, at best you're only going to be in this slow uptrend. EMES for a short. Yes, you can stay short on this one. And that does look like a good bearish J-hook pattern setting up. So if this opened lower, yes, you could be shorting it with the anticipation that if it moved down 10 points from here, it could move down into the $20 range from there. SLV, silver, just nothing. Yeah, that's the same as the silver chart. It having a hard time getting back up above the T-line and that downtrending channel. Ralph Lauren. This one you can be in. It's not a very exciting mover, and you can see you're still in this sideways channel. I'd probably be trading something else just because of the lack of trend for this one. Under Armour, that's better. That's got the little J-hook pattern with a kind of little trend kicker and then gapping up through this resistance level and closing above this level. Probably tells you there's more upside. HZNP, all you can do with this is stay long. Now, it did a bearish engulfing, but it hasn't broken the trend. Just stay long until you see a sell signal and a close back below the T-line. MGA. This one, you're starting to get buy signals. There's that little flutter kicker type setup. I'd be more apt to buy it if it broke through the 50, telling me they broke this downtrending channel. And VRX, get ready to buy this one on a doji sandwich breakout. Let's see, we did Facebook, Nubo, you can stay with this one. You just don't want to see this one trade lower and or close below the T-line. SYN, not coming up. The Russell, just like the NASDAQ trend kicker, I'll stay with this one. Dust. Is this the short one? Oh, for crying out loud, what's happening here? I don't know why it's not picking up all the signals tonight. Wynn Resorts. This one you can buy on a positive open tomorrow. This is your classic, or not classic, but there's your Morningstar signal. Came back, J-hook pattern right to the T-line. Now you've got the potential of a bullish flutter kicker. You want to be a buyer because there's your next target, filling the gap up here. Just this time, you stay long. You do have kind of a bearish belt hold, so if this opened lower tomorrow, you probably take profits and just see what it does once it gets back to the T-line slash 200-day moving average. OHRP, nice little scoop type breakout. I imagine the volume was good. This one you can be buying with the anticipation that your next target would be the 200. NVAX. All you can do here is stay long. MX. Notice the indecisive trading gap up, best friend. I'd suspect the 200 stay long as it stays above the T line. And AMBA. AMBA, nothing yet. You can see the squeeze going on. So you buy this once you see it close above the T-line. APOL. Got a J or a scoop type pattern setting up. Notice how flat this handle is. Now they're starting to bring it back up. If you're buying this one, you can already see that to move from here to here, 3 points on a $13 stock or a $14 stock is about 18%. Then if they break it through here, you've got a good strong slingshot effect to the upside, probably making, coming back up into the gap area, making the 200-year target. So that's a good one to keep an eye on. Wabe just has not been able to get out of its own way. You stay short on this one. And DSKY. Well, shucks. Go to Southwest Airlines. Having a hard time also picking up steam. It opened positive today, but pulled right back. You can buy this one if it opens positive and starts trading positive. I'd be more apt to buy it when it comes up through this level, telling me we've reached a new high. See if they've updated Kroger completely. No, we still got 1 day up there. And SDAY. There we go. You can stay long. It still has to break this downtrending channel. I would suspect it's moving for the 200-day moving average. ESPR, nothing real exciting. At this point, I would be a buyer if it got up through the 50. Lumber Liquidators. Nothing exciting here. Yeah, just nothing there yet. Let's see. FI. That's not coming up either. Home Depot is an uptrend, not an exciting stock percentage-wise, but you can see the little slow curve breaking out. Disney also, is an uptrend. All you can do is stay long on this one. And UYG, nothing real exciting here other than the fact that when you see the financials above the T-line, you just stay long, or the whole market will stay up. Is Coors a buy? Oops. Yeah, you can buy Coors with anticipation you've got about a 16, 18% move back up to the 50. And if it breaks through the 50, then you've got the potential of going up here, which would be about a 25 to 30% return. Any sessions on earnings plays? I don't make them earnings plays per se. I just see what the chart is telling me right before earnings. Remember, candlestick signals are the accumulative knowledge of everybody buying and selling during a specific time frame. And if they're buying right before earnings, that means somebody out there that's got a lot more inside knowledge than we do is buying going into those earnings. They're not afraid to be buying. Tesla, yeah, but I would be kind of skeptical about shorting it because you've got the support level right here, which isn't that far away. I'd be more interested in seeing if they can get back up above the T-line, continuing this J-hook pattern. American Express, another unexciting stock. If you're buying this one, you can see whether they can bring it right back up here, but that's only going to be about a 6% return and take a while for it to get there. American Express, being a institutional trader, doesn't really have that much movement to it. And ADXS, nothing here yet. It just can't get back up above the T-line. Okay, with that, let's call it a night. Markets look pretty good. I would suspect there's going to be some positive trading, but using the 50 tomorrow as a support level. Last one is Ford. Ford needs to get back up above the T-line. It's just barely there. That cat, pal, that's right. That cat was such a bother tonight. All right. Oh, somebody was asking what you need to bring to the lake, and all you really need to bring is your bathing suit, your flip-flops. If you want to do some trading while we're there, bring your laptop. So with that, everybody have a good evening. We will see you bright and early in heaven. Okay, Jennifer, we're going to bite. What's the difference between paradise versus heaven? Meant was it opened, when it gapped up on the open, it immediately started selling right back off, closed down here. All right, we're still waiting to. Okay, everybody, I was waiting to see what the answer was to the difference between paradise and heaven. Heaven, you can not go back once you leave. Paradise, you always. I thought it was going to be a funny answer. Okay, everybody, have a good evening. We'll see you bright and early in the chat room. We'll see you.